Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Natalie with Natalie's Closet, and today I am coming to you just to give you a heads up on some scams that are out there, because I was almost hit with 3 of them. But first, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. Welcome to the new subscribers that we've had. That is so awesome. And if you are new and haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you'd consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit the notification bell to all so you're notified anytime I upload a video. And of course, welcome back everyone else. Thank you so incredibly much. You guys are all awesome for the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So that being said, I don't want this video to be super long or anything. But yeah, last year, at the end of last year, when I was looking for markets, craft fairs to do, I was actually on a live when the first scam happened. I was doing a live. I think I was on the couch, and I kept apologizing to everybody because I was trying to get into the show. And oh, and if you hear guitar, it's because Mr. Boyfriend's playing in our music room, or in our music studio. Anyway, which is like right next to me. Anyway, so I kept excusing myself because I had someone repeatedly contacting me to see if I had sent them money. Now, prior to that, the conversation was normal. Like, every few hours I would respond if she sent me something, and then, you know, I would respond, and then a couple hours later she would respond. So it was like no big deal. But then it was like, okay, well, I was getting anxious because I really wanted to get into this show, or what I thought was a show. And she, I had done some research. It seemed like it was the right person, but I didn't really do a deep dive, even though I knew that you needed to be careful. So part of it was my fault, but I had looked a little bit enough that I thought that I did enough. You know what I mean? And so then it was like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Did you send the money? Did you send the money? And then I was like, well, do you have Venmo? And she's like, well, no, I don't. Now, okay, some craft fairs are very strict. It's only check. That's all they'll take because there's so much scamming around. Others will also accept Venmo or Zelle. Cash App, not typically, but Venmo or Zelle. And they are legitimate. And then, but you really have to be careful, especially when it comes to Venmo and Zelle. Because you have basically no protection for yourself if you send the money. It's like, oh well, sorry, you sent it to the wrong person, you know. Anyway, so I think she was saying she wanted Zelle, or no, she said she didn't have Venmo. We felt more comfortable doing Zelle because we were like, okay, it's kind of connected to the bank, but not, but yes, because the banks are promoting using Zelle, and you know what I mean? So she's like, well, I don't have Zelle. And she's like, but I can see if my son or daughter or somebody, I can't remember who it was, can go ahead, they see if they have it, and I can give you their ID. I was like, okay, no problem. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't think about it until just now. Wait a minute. If she does the, oh wait, but she wasn't offering Zelle. She was offering Venmo. Was it just Venmo? I can't remember the details because this was several months ago. But so at the time, I hadn't been set up with Zelle because I just didn't want to take Zelle. I was very much with Venmo or Square as far as payments. So Mr. Boyfriend gave, I gave her his ID to and said this is where it's going to be coming from, or his phone number, I think it was. And I'm like, this is where it's going to be coming from. So Mr. Boyfriend went ahead and he sent the money. Okay. We went as far as actually sending the money. And then I can't remember if it was it was either Zelle, or I think it was Zelle came back and said, are you sure you want to send this money? Because it seems maybe a little shady. Well, that's not exactly what it said, but that's basically what they meant. And so Mr. Boyfriend came to me and he's like, are you sure about this? And I was like, well, from what I could tell, I did not go onto their Facebook page, their Facebook profile, because that's how I communicate with a lot of people that are doing shows, is through Facebook groups that I'm part of. And so he went to their Facebook page, and the Facebook picture was of a woman, and the first post seemed legit, but as he went a little bit further, there were only a couple other posts, and they were by a man and several years ago and whatever, and so I was like, oh, so he went ahead and he said, no, I don't want to send the money. So I let the person know. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is a scam, and never heard from them again. Well, a couple days later, the bank called him and said, are you sure you want to cancel this payment? And he's like, well, I thought I already did. And the bank said, well, we just wanted to confirm. And so, whatever. So he's like, and they're like, you're really lucky, because Zelle doesn't do that as a general rule. They'll just let the payment go through. So you're lucky that this happened and that you're not out the $80 or whatever it was for the table. And so we were very grateful that that happened, and for whatever reason that it did happen, since it doesn't normally happen. And they're like, because there's no protection from us. If you had sent it through them, that's all it would have been. But we got an alert that there was some sort of a scam thing, and we just wanted to confirm with you guys. And so we were like, oh, okay. So that was scam number one. And that's very common. If you are on Facebook groups, like I'm part of a Northern Illinois craft fair or something. I don't remember the exact Facebook group, but I'm part of that group. And many times people will say, I am the only, like they'll post it and they're like, I am the only contact for this market. But if you go into the comments section and you say, I'm interested, what people are doing is they're basically sometimes copying that person's profile information and reaching out to you, or even making it seem like they are not the coordinator, but the place where you're wanting to be, and saying, okay, here's the information, and then you're sending it to them, even though they are not the actual person. So one, you want to make sure that the person you are dealing with, that's why I now go directly to whoever it is that posted it and go to their messenger and message them directly, or find an email or something like that. So that was number one. Number two happened almost the same way, except I did a lot of information. I went on to they did it so well, that they basically copied exactly the Facebook group or Facebook page of this person, and everything, made it look exactly like this person. But I was going back and forth with the email, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check the email of this person. It did not match. It was off by I think 2 letters, or off by a dot and a letter or something like that. But it was so close. And I noticed that. And this was before sending money or anything. This was while I was doing a deep dive trying to see if this was a scam, because it not only happened to me, but it also, I knew several people at this point that it had happened to as well. So they are getting very, very sneaky. So just make sure that if you are doing this and you are part of Facebook groups, that don't just say you're interested, because they say you're interested. Don't just say you're interested in the comment section, because that opens it up to anybody that's looking to go ahead and scam you. Go directly to that person's page, message them directly. And then this wasn't a scam, but I was now leery. Now I'm like, okay, who can I trust? So there was the Parkview. I posted it. I think that was the October 25th and 26th market. If I'm not mistaken, that was Parkview home in Freeport. The woman had contacted me, and I was like, I don't know. Is this really the person? Is this really the place? So I went to Parkview home, or retirement home, or nurse. I can't remember exactly the the exact name of the facility, but I went to Parkview. I went on to their list of not employees, but like their like the owner, or like the people that ran it, because she was supposedly the marketing director or something. Her name was on the actual website for this place, which was a legitimate website. She was listed as this person. The phone number matched, the email matched, everything matched. I called the facility. I said, do you really have this person that is working here? I didn't go to the phone number she gave me. I went to the website and Google search and went to that phone number, called, do you have this person here? Yes. Do you actually have this event happening? Yes. Okay. So I went with it, so then I had another one, and something just didn't seem right, because the Facebook group that I was able to, or the Facebook page I was able to find through her thing, and how it connected to this church, the church was kind of a little bit different, but the same. And so now I'm like slap happy with, or am I being scammed? And so it said you could email the pastor, and so I'm like, okay. So I went ahead and I emailed the pastor, and then I'm like, well, what if this isn't actually the pastor's email? And so I went to the church's website, and that was the pastor's name, and I reached out to them, and then I reached out to this person via Messenger, and I'm like, I'm very sorry, but I've been almost scammed twice, and there's so much scamming going on. I'm just trying to make sure. And so then I found another contact person, and I reached out to her, and I said, is this person in fact the person in charge of this? And I'm like, because this was a rather big event. I think did I post it already? No, I think that one was in December, beginning of December. It was a 3-day event, I think. I don't think I've posted it yet. But anyway, so I was like, okay, I really apologize. I don't mean to be questioning you, but, I think they were also by Venmo or Zelle. Or did I do a check for them? No, it was a check. I got a cashier's check at the bank, and she's like, if I was really trying to scam you, I would be having you send it directly to me, not the church. And I'm like, I understand, but, and she's like, I understand. She's like, I know there's a lot going on, but it seriously can make you feel like you're losing your mind, because you don't know who you can trust, who you can't trust, and whatever. And you could go down a rabbit hole trying to figure this out. But seriously, it's worth the time instead of losing the money. Even if it's a $20 table, that's still $20 you can lose. Now in this case, it would have been $80, and I think the second one, had I not caught that email, I think that one was like $120. So I mean, these are big, relatively big amounts. But the other one, this had nothing to do with markets, and this was just last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. I had somebody reach out to me via message. I still have my business page up. My Natalie's Closet business page is still active. I'm not active on it, but it is still active. And so I had somebody reach out a couple months ago, or several weeks ago, saying they were interested in one of my items. And I had responded saying, well, I don't have this yarn anymore, and I don't knit right now, but I could make one similar, and I'd be willing to knit it, whatever. And so the way it was worded, one, it sounded like it wasn't somebody that spoke English very well, which in and of itself is not a big deal. But now I'm slap happy about scams, right? So something just didn't sit right. And I kept repeating the same thing, and they kept coming back, and it just wasn't right. So I was like, are you interested? And I just didn't hear anything else. Okay, fine. So then, like I said, last week or the week before that, I had somebody reach out, and I can actually find that text. And they said that they were interested in one of my baby blankets. I said, okay. I don't have it in this particular, I don't have this one anymore. It's sold. And I had posted it like 5 or 6 years ago on my business page. So I'm like, but I can make you another one. I don't remember exactly what stitch it was because it was something I just whipped up. It was, it wasn't anything major, but it was a puff stitch that I just kind of did. And I don't remember exactly what I did because I only made one of them. And so I said, I can make one similar for you if you are interested. Yes, ma'am. All of the responses were yes, ma'am, or whatever, ma'am, whatever, ma'am, which to me, I instantly, I don't know why, and it's not some kind of profiling or anything, but I instantly went to possibly someone that was Asian or of Asian descent. Only because they are oftentimes very proper, very, whatever. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And so I was, and I hope, and I was, my ex-husband was Asian, so please don't take that as anything. It was just, I know many, well, women in particular, Asian females that are always ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. And so the first couple of times I was like, this is really sweet. I'm like, this is cool. I don't know that I want to be called ma'am at this point. I'm only 47. But I know that I do that even with people that are younger than me. I'll say, yes, ma'am, if I'm on the phone with them or whatever, just out of respect and being nice, Anyway, so, but then it was like every single thing was yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Or I mean, not yes, but whatever, ma'am, 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 ma'am. And then it just started to get weird with the way they were talking. Okay, but no problem. So I said, okay, well, the price has gone up since then because this was posted 5 or 6 years ago. The price of yarn has gone up significantly. So I'm going to have to increase the price. And I was talking to Mr. Boyfriend and I'm like, seriously, to make that particular blanket, I remember I used 5 skeins of Bernat blanket and with the price and this and that. And I was charging $65 then. But I don't know that I can, if I do much more than 75, I don't know if they're going to be willing. It's just a baby blanket. And he's like, well, he was like, well, charge more. And then I was like, okay, why don't we just 75? He's like, okay, let them know. So I said the blanket will be 75. Okay, ma'am, no problem. Or no problem, ma'am. And I was like, there was no question about anything. And they're like, can you ship it? And I said, sure, no problem. Where do you live? I live in Florida. I was like, okay. And so I went and I figured out, whatever. I knew because I had it listed on Etsy also, and I had all the dimensions and the weight and stuff like that. So I took all of that and I went to USPS Now and put in all that information, and it was going to be like 9 something to ship. Went back and said, okay, it's going to be just under $10 for shipping. Okay, ma'am. And something at that point, I was like kind of curious, but I was like, all right. And so she says, do you have Venmo or do you have Zelle or Venmo? Well, at this point I had already signed up for Zelle. I had taken my first payment for a commissioned piece, a legitimate commissioned piece. And I'm trying to switch my accounts so I can give you some more specific details. And so I went ahead and so she said before I gave it to her, I gave her my phone number for Zelle, and she says, can you please confirm the email address? And I'm like, okay, you're on my business page. You would have access to my email address. Okay, it won't hurt if I give it to you, but I still want to know that you're actually looking this up. So I said, well, it's on my business page. You can confirm it that way. So she comes back and gives me my email address. Okay, fine. So no problem. So she said her account is a business account, so it's asking her to confirm the email address. She needs more information. So she sent me my email address. I asked if it's right. I said, yes, it is. She said, okay, 1 sec, ma'am, I'm on it. And she says, okay, so the transfer has been made. I received alert that a confirmation has been sent to you. Did you see the confirmation they sent directly to you at natalies.closet@yahoo.com? Check and let me know if you did. And I was like, wait a minute. Zelle normally, or was this through Venmo? Yeah, I didn't want to do Zelle because that, like, I feel like it's somehow more connected to my checking account information than whatever. And I had looked up to see, like, what kind of, like, how can somebody, like, what are the scams that are around and can they get into my checking account information? And both Venmo and Zelle were very similar in, like, what types of things to look out for when it comes to people that are trying to scam you. And be wary if they say, well, I'm going to send you over this amount. Can you send it back to me? Because it could be that they are using a stolen credit card and they want you to send them the money because now they've got the cash. And then you're going to get notified that the credit card was stolen and now you're out the money. And it was funny because I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, but she says an email. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Venmo is never by email. It's always a text notification that money is coming to you or, you know, whatever. That's how I've always had communication with Venmo. And I've used Venmo for several years. And so I got this email and it basically said, okay, this is a business account that's trying to send you the $85. But you don't have a business account. So we need, in order to like legitimize, or not legitimize, but in order to process your, or make you, switch you into a business account, you need to request from the person sending you money to send you an additional $300. And then once that is received, we could go ahead and make this legitimate. Nobody will be out any money. You'll be able to send it back to them. Sorry, the camera cut off because it's almost out of space. I gotta make this short. So anyway, basically nobody's gonna be out of money because you'll just send them back the $300. You'll have the $85 and everybody will be happy. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is exactly what it is that they suggested was going to happen. Even if I hadn't looked up what potential scams could be out there, this would have been fishy. So I went and I looked to see what email it came from, and it was a venmo.something@gmail.com. I don't think Venmo is going to be using a Gmail email address. So I was like, okay, this is funny. And it gave a phone number for you to call so that they could go ahead and set it up. Well, of course, they have somebody sitting there that says that that's what they're going to do and legitimize it, whatever. So I responded and I said, I'm sorry, this transaction can't be processed. And I don't agree to the conditions of the email, which is not from a Venmo account, says it needs to happen to make it go through. And she said, yes, I got this too. And I'm aware that your account isn't a business. And I had sent that payment as business in the note of payment from my business account. So can I trust you that once I send the additional $300, you'll definitely make the refund? And then she says, do you see their support number? Can you call them to verify the transaction? I was confused as well when I got that notification. So you can call them to help us out with this, ma'am. Have you called them, ma'am? And so I said, no, I reached out to Venmo itself via my app, and they have confirmed that this is not a valid Venmo email account, and this is a scam, which I was afraid of, but wanted to see. Have a good day. I wanted to test the waters to see how far this would play out, but I did contact Venmo, and I said, you know, this is what's going on. I just wanted to let you know, and they wanted to see what the email address was that it came from, and they're like, no, we can assure you this is not from Venmo. We're very sorry. Thank you for reporting it. But these are legitimate scams that are out there. And I was like, it came to me through my business page trying to order something, and this is what was going to happen. So just be wary and just make sure you're paying attention and that you don't get scammed. I just wanted to come to you guys and let you know my experiences, share them with you in the event you may ever find yourself in the same position. So this was way longer than I wanted it to be. I apologize for that. But I hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below. But yeah. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope nobody else gets scammed, and I hope that you haven't already been scammed, because I know it sucks. Let me know in the comment section below. That's your homework for this video. Have you ever been scammed? Have you been almost scammed, but you caught it? What kinds of things were there? So that anybody that's reading the comments can also be, you know, aware of other things that may be out there. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Miley says hi and bye to her peeps. She is laying in her bed comfortably. Mr. Boyfriend is practicing guitar, but I haven't been hearing him. Oh, he has it so quiet because he knew I was recording videos. He's so sweet, but he didn't have to do that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. And my mom wanted to say thank you so much for all the continued thoughts and prayers. You guys are amazing, and I love that you guys are concerned about her. And I've had many people message me privately asking, you know, how's your mom? And so that's awesome. Thank you so incredibly much. And of course, I and Mr. Boyfriend, thank you for all the continued thoughts and prayers for us as well. Thank you so much. You guys are very thoughtful and caring, and it's just this community is amazing. So have a great rest of your day. I already said that. Remember, be positive, and for every season there's a reason to crochet. Love, hugs, and prayers to everybody. Extra prayers for those who need it. If you need extra prayers but don't want to share publicly, email me at natalies.closet@yahoo.com. We will add you to our private prayer list. And if you don't mind me sharing it publicly but anonymously, let me know that too. I will do that. And yeah, have a great night. I will talk to you guys soon. I love you guys. Bye.